Well, joining me tonight on politics versus policy and the interesting double speak when one party is in government and how it speaks when it's in opposition. Both sides making that point, the BJP and the Congress. Joining me tonight, Renuka Chaudhary, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress. Venkaiah Naidu, again, senior BJP leader and Rajya Sabha MP of the BJP. Saugata Roy, the Trinamool Congress former minister, but today speaking there against the government. I'm also joined by Mr. N.R. Narayan Murthy, Chairman Emeritus of Infosys, and Mr. Chengal Reddy of the Farmers Consortium. Thank you all very much for joining me tonight. Mr. Narayan Murthy, let me begin with you. Let me begin with an apolitical voice, and I don't think anyone would define you as a corporate voice, but let me begin with you as an Indian who's been watching this debate. Are you glad, one, that it is being debated, but are you slightly cynical when you see how parties have different policies really when they're in government and when they're in opposition, and that is a point being raised by both sides today?
You know, I don't know if I am keen on commenting on that. All that I would say is that if we want to solve the problem of poverty in this country, if we want to create jobs for poor people, if we want to make life easy for poor people, if we want to eliminate middlemen, if we want to leverage the power of technology to bring prices down, if we want to make it easy for preserving food and other items, then there is a lot that can be said about leverage of technology, about economies of scale, and therefore there's a lot that we can do by learning what other countries have done in the area of retail. Countries that are more developed than us, countries from whom we can learn. As long as we use data and facts to argue these things, as long as we learn from the experience of other countries, I believe we will become smarter. I mean, the same thing was discussed in the 70s and 80s when we used to go to bureaucrats and say, please introduce current account convertibility because you are hurting Indian companies. Please remove licensing. They used to say, no, we can't remove licensing, then all kinds of things will happen. If we introduce current account convertibility, people will take money out. None of that has happened. Therefore, my request to both both sides of the aisle is to look at data and facts, look at the experience of other countries.
Data and facts. In fact, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, that's an interesting point, because we saw, if an average person is listening to the debates and you had brilliant speakers with both Sushma Swaraj and Kapil Sibal, you wouldn't know which side to believe, because both sides, I think, interpreted facts in a way to suit their political perspective. And one interesting bit is, of course, Sushma Swaraj made the point of McDonald's importing its potatoes, and McDonald's has issued a statement saying we don't import our potatoes, we actually use potatoes that are sourced locally. So are facts often used conveniently? For instance, Jaswant Singh made the point in 2004 that, look, Kentucky Fried Chicken, our dhabas will beat Kentucky Fried Chicken. Today we're seeing the same argument being used in a different way by the BJP.
Sonia ji, you can't compare Kentucky Fried Chicken with the retail trade in the country. India is basically an agriculture country. Only 18% of the people are employed in structured employment. 30% are unemployed. 50% of the people are self-employed in agriculture and retail trade. That being the case, the worry of the countrymen and also the BJP is that they will be displaced. It's not what Venkaiah Naidu is saying today or Sushma Swaraj saying. This is what Manmohan Singh ji said in 2002 when he was the leader of the opposition. I have the document with me to show Sri Manmohan Singh ji wrote to the Maharashtra Association of Federations saying, kindly refer to a letter dated 6th December 2002 regarding FDI in retail. This matter was raised in Rajya Sabha 2 days ago, and the finance minister gave an assurance that the government had no proposal to invite foreign direct investment in retail trade. This is what Manmohan Singh ji wrote at the time, and he also went on record to say that India does not require this kind of reforms which would, rather than creating employment, destroy employment. This is what he has said. And Priyandas Munshi went one step ahead and said, please don't allow FDI in retail, which is anti-national. I have his letter 1st March 2002 with me, written to Sri Maran minister at that time.
Of course,
Please
Mr.
try to
Naidu,
understand.
in 2004, you were part of a group which released an NDA manifesto which supported 26% foreign direct investment in multi-brand retail. But Renuka Chaudhary, contradictions and hypocrisies on both sides. How can the point being the Prime Minister then, the current Prime Minister opposed it then, the same Prime Minister now says it's good for India. Is there some element of political convenience here? The government eager to portray itself as a reformist government, so this is what they've grabbed onto.
Not really, Sonia. What has actually happened is the opposition seems to be stuck in a time warp. See, what was relevant in 2002, we are in end of 2012, we are heading into 2013. There is a huge change in the world today. There is a young population, there is communication wizardry that's happening. Everything is on the net, there's a lot more transparency, you have acceleration of knowledge and development that has happened, and we have to learn to move with the times. Now, in 2002, it was perfectly right that we took our checks and guards. In 2004, the BJP articulated that perhaps it was time to think about it. To 2012, the time is ripe because the global consequences of crashes of economies, even in so-called advanced countries, have shown us the way forward, that we put in our checks and balances, we bring in the policy decision, let the state governments, because we believe in the federal devolvement of power to them, that they will take a call on this issue. And it is a myth and fallacy to say that, oh, the small shop is going to go defunct. I don't think so. As a housewife, let me tell you, and in Andhra Pradesh, we already have metro cash and carry.
Yes.
And I have Ratnadeep next to me, and down the road I have Balaji store, and on the Patri I have the vegetable vendor, and I use all of them.
Let me just...
And I like the way everyone's talking about one section or the other, but what about the consumer? And let me tell you, on behalf of the farmers, you know, we all talk, this great patriotism comes in and this hypocrisy smacks, I can't stand it. When we go to our local vendors and they use the old balances, you know very well what happens. The weights are different.
Let me
Your
just
weights
get
and
in.
measure up.
You're
There's
talking
so
about
much
changing with the
spoilage. I
times.
buy 1 kilo of vegetable,
Yes.
and I buy a quarter, pav kilo of the vegetable is rotten or worm infested, and
you're
it's not
saying
washed.
basically...
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.